Hey folks, thanks for tuning in today. So we are continuing this American traditional series with another British dude, the guy who studied under the illustrious Donald Sutherland. Anyway, um, George Burchett, whatever it is. Um, UK dude, had a tattoo studio in Waterloo. Guy was born in like 1870 something, four, something like that, right? So these are really early people in the industry. Um, Super cool stuff, right? We're gonna look at a couple of his photos, right? Here's him tattooing makeup on a lady because that's always been a thing, right? Of course, dragons, you gotta have dragons. That's always been a thing. But centipedes and dragon, like, I didn't realize that centipede tattoos were this old. So that's actually like a really cool thing. So I'm super happy to be doing this series and informing myself as well. I mean, this guy, I guess. So I think I got him confused because I've been doing too much research recently. I think this is the guy who joined the Navy at 13 years old. But go do your own research. Go check out Tattoo Do or Tattoodo, right? One word, Tattoo Do. They've got really cool history stuff up there. As you can see, some of these images I found on Getty Images, right? So these images are out there. These stories are out there. Go do your own research. It's super cool. Apparently, this guy like tattooed like King, maybe it was King George the Fifth or Henry the. It wouldn't have been Henry the Fifth. That was way too long ago. But he's like tattooing kings and princes and like kings from other realms or whatever the heck, like really cool stuff, highfalutin stuff. And so it's really just awesome to see that the tattoo culture has been in the upper echelons of society for a really, really long time. It's actually, even though it's been fringe, people always want to be fringe. They always want to be cool, and tattoos have always been cool. So, anyway, we're actually going to end up doing this tiger, the one showing you the cake over there in the corner with the palm tree. And just because I wanted to do something a little bit different, this guy does amazing eagles. His eagles are so angry looking, so angry. And I personally love that, but we've done enough wings for now. Let's go ahead and do a land animal. Thought about doing a snake. He's pretty famous for his snakes, but tiger seems a little bit off to the left. So we're going to do that one. If that sounds interesting to you, I'm Clay, the Techie Tattooer. Time for the iPad. All right, folks, and before we get too far into it, I just want to take time to appreciate this photo here. That is a straight razor he is shaving that man's arm with. That is a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, right? That is the ashtray right down there. And they're tattooing on newspaper, guys. If you go look these images up on Getty Images, yeah, that's what he does. Is these sailors come in, right? Sailor, in case you couldn't tell, and it's like a bottom of a bird cage in there, people. It's so good. So yeah, if you like tattoo history, go check this out on Getty Images. It's so fun. George Burchett, whatever. Just such cool images, really interesting stuff. Yeah, it's just great little history lesson there. So, here's a closer up versions of his designs. This design of his is actually pretty famous. It's like one of those first battle royale designs. It's honestly hard to see though, but I did almost want to do this design because it is so classic, but I figured we'd already done the Hawks, we'd already made that happen, and so, it just didn't seem like the thing to do. But, it's just so freaking cool. This is the little in distress crane right here, right? There's his little wings on this guy, and then this is that hawk coming right around here, biting his throat. Got one claw talon thing around his throat there. Like, it's just so cool. And then there's other like classic American traditional things that we're seeing happen in this. Like, for instance, this foot should be visible right here, but it's not in there, right? Because it would affect the cleanliness of the tail feathers on the hawk there, and things like that, right? Where as we're looking at the underside of this, we've got this light area that's turned into the yellow light area in eagles nowadays, but it's still there to create that differentiation between the underside and the overside of the wing, right? Where we've got this overside of the wing there doing exactly as we expect it to do in those classic American traditional styles, right? Here, that same kind of thing where we've got this empty area on the inner or under wing, right? And then you go full scale feathers all the way to the edge here on that upper or outer wing, right? And then you've got this same exact spot to start creating that differentiation, which again, I just think it's so cool to see. And yeah, all of his like hawk eagle things, like they all just like they look like they just came out of the bathtub. They are just so angry and spiky. So I totally love that. I think it's great. This one's not so angry and spiky, but he's definitely, more bathtub ready. Um, Again, just wanted to point out that dragons have always been a part of American traditional tattooing. You'll notice that this one has a lot of Japanese influence, but with these little pieces, right? George Burchett's kind of one of those guys who he's got a few other designs that I didn't take screenshots of that are those more like sea monster style designs. And so you see him kind of moving into that realm, probably a lot for the sailors and stuff. Looks like he was tattooing through World War I and World War II. And so that actually makes a lot of sense that he would have a lot of naval style tattoos. Of course, I cannot get over my surprise that centipedes, millipedes, whatever you want to call them, have been around in tattooing for forever. That's freaking crazy. I can't even get over that. And then this is the tattoo we're going to be recreating for ourselves. And yeah, I mean, here we are with the classics: eagle, two flags, cute little leafy things, some clovers, right? 3 leaf, not 4 leaf, but still good luck stuff. Thistles, like really? That's kind of cool, but whatever. Um, Classic roses. Yeah, and we're just starting to see these kinds of things. The lighthouse, the sunset, the battleship, cute little just swoopy birds. Yeah, so all of these are just. This is why it's so interesting to start from the beginning and just watch a lot of these designs, sort of come into being here. So this is this guy here. Yeah, I am gonna want to tilt this away. We're taking up more of this space. Here we go. I'm gonna put that tiger in the middle. So that sun is definitely kind of in the middle there. He's got it off to the side there to kind of balance that. I'll see how I like that balance off to the side with tiger in the middle. We'll see. We'll see how I like that. Okay. So again, we're going to be going for really thin lines because that's how this sort of traditional stuff is done. It was before they were really using, they didn't have a 14 round liner back then. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and put this down at 1% again. Make sure the opacity is all the way up at 100. We're going to take our default little image down here. Where did you go? There you are. Click the N, drop its opacity down to like, 30% roughly. Get back onto our new layer. And do I want to trace this one up differently at all? Yeah, I am actually going to do a little bit of that. So we're going to go back to our technical pen. Going to make sure our stabilization and streamline is turned way down. I'm going to grab like a, oh, I don't know, fine, we'll just grab a green. Sure, why not? And really, we're kind of doing, just getting this palm tree in there. Getting our rock formations in here. Is that the palm tree down there? I think that's the palm tree. Right, I think that's it right there, that little black thing. Or rather, I'm going to make it the little black thing, even if it's not. Because, yeah, that sounds right to me. And then, let's see, we'll go here. Okay. And then what do we got? 2 flowers. That's only 2 flowers in that design. That's gonna freak out my need to do 3s of everything. So yeah, so let's hope that this flower goes here, this flower goes here, and this flower goes here. Yeah, that's, I think this is a 2-flower design. Oh, my poor brain does not like that. So we're gonna turn it into a 3-flower design. And knowing me, I'll probably hit it up with the symmetry tool because I'm insane. Yep. It'll be a 3-flower design there. Do I change up? See, to me, those look like really tiny for the leaves coming off this puppy. But part of me feels like we should keep the proportions of this design really similar to what he was doing and he had in mind, even if it's a little bit funky to what I would do. I think I'm gonna kind of have to, yeah, I'm gonna have to let this be the proportions that it is. The main reason being this line here. If we have it be bigger, this palm leaf has to go, or coconut leaf has to go underneath him there, and I just don't know if that's going to flow right. It's also going to get in the way of the sun. Yeah, so there's reasons not to do that. And so I won't, even though I feel like this is some weird little stubby palm because of that. But I'll survive. I'll survive. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Maybe a little bit more rocky coolness like there and there. Maybe like that or something. We'll see how that works, right? Poking that rocky bit out here maybe, and then ending it off with whatever this floral leafy piece becomes. That might work out pretty good. Right, however that's gonna go. Okay. And I think that's all I really need to do, because the rest I'm just gonna kind of do on the fly like I normally do. But I did want to kind of just flesh out the balance of this piece a little bit more. Um, that should be good there. And yeah, let's just get right to it with this fun little tiger. Oh my gosh, he's got eyelashes. It's a cute little girl tiger. Look at that. Look at those beautiful little eyelashes. Oh my god. That's amazing. I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm about to do a tiger with eyelashes, guys. Oh well, these things happen, right? Okay. Where are we going to start from? I'm going to start from the body and the shoulders, kind of this neck area here. So out from here, I'm going to ignore that little lump that he's got going on, and we're going to go straight into kind of a more angular sort of curve, like boop, boop, right? And we're going to kind of do that same here with the shoulders. We're going to start out from more of an angular kind of curve, and then bringing that in, right? Okay, so there is no real shoulder muscle there. He folds it in because that's the elbow of the tiger there. Okay, so then let's see. We have our trap, which of course tigers don't. I mean, they. So we got that muscle there. And then we're going to add the shoulder muscle here. Tiger arm. Tiger arm. Yep. Okay. And then boop. But we're going to keep it with these kind of angles. And then boop. And then let's see here. So we got a little bit of that continuation of that like fake trap muscle kind of thing. Then we're going to kind of go straight into straight rib cage. Straight into straight rib cage there. Right, and then same kind of deal there. So yeah, I'm gonna bring this up a little bit to match that better. Like that and that. Boom. But then this one's going to come over the other way. Yep. And there's our hips. And we're going to bring that through there. Yep. And then same kind of butt treatment. We're pretty much just exactly going to trace this part. Right, because this is giving us exactly the treatment we want. Yep. And I will give it a little bit of that so we can kind of see that this loop and this loop and then this and this are the same. So I'm tucking it in, right? So we got the same little thing there, the same little thing there, but it's shorter because it's from a different perspective. It's rolled over a little bit. Tail. So yeah, I guess we're gonna follow his lead there.
here and here. We're going to change that up just a little bit. Yeah. Don't like how flat this tail feels. Yeah, I don't like that tail. Sorry, Burchett. I love you, man, but I don't like your tail. Yep, and then we'll give him another little poof. Yeah, I like that better. Actually, I probably don't need it to be so angular. Chill out with that stuff, dude. Too thick. Make that a little bit more even on the taper there. No, more even on the taper there. My mouth said it, but my finger wouldn't do it. Okay, there we go. That's probably too long on that tail, but you know, whatever. Chicken butts, right? Okay. We do want that to be wider. That'll work. Okay, and then rounder ears. I always make tiger ears too pointy. I can't help it. There we go. Go, because I like mine to be a little bit squarer than that. Like we're talking like microns here. Like it's not really a big deal, but I'm being neurotic, like I always do. Okay, okay. Okay. That might be a little bit too scraggly for what I want. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Okay, let's get the tongue and the teeth in there. So let's see. I like to be a little bit more aggressive and bold with the sizing of my teeth, so they're a little bit more saber-tooth. Personal preferences, y'all. Draw it how you want it. Boom. Yep. And the tongue. Go down through the teeth. And then boom. Yep. Then we give him the other side, or her, I guess. The other side, is that going to be kind of like that, maybe? But see, that doesn't make sense, because that's way too far back, or way too far forward. Yeah, see, I'm going to go all the way back behind it, because this is back here, right? And so I want both of these teeth to be exposed to open skin instead of having this. That's just too far forward for me. I don't, it's not making me happy right there. So I'm making changes. Okay. And let's see, I'm going to do the eye first to get this kind of fleshed in. So the eye here. Yeah, we can make that make sense. And then the eye itself. And we're going to go full circle cheaty cheat. Yep. And hold, and then finger, finger hold. Oh, that barely even made a difference. Okay, cool, whatever. All right, and then you're getting eyelashes, girl. Yep. Three whiskers. And then three whiskers. So what I'm doing neurotically is kind of lining them up so that they have that they come through this part of the face at the same distance or the same angle, as it were, I guess. Right, just to kind of make that make sense a little bit. Even though obviously this is scooched closer, it just kind of, you know. We'll just do the one like he did. Okay, so that's a pretty good outline there. I'm going to start a new layer for the striping. Oh, actually, wait. We're going to put... There we go. There we go. That feels pretty good to me. Now we're going on to the stripes. Do I want anything that close? I don't think so. I think we're going to go more empty and bold. More of that. What we do nowadays with American traditional. So one of the things I like to make sure to do is kind of be doing that topographical map of your design, of your tiger muscles, and making sure that these fall around the throat there, right? Right, that this comes in and helps accentuate that shoulder muscle. Right, so that means then that this one would fall to like here. right? These kinds of things. I personally think it helps. So then that means you're going to come to here and here. Right, like that kind of stuff. So it's kind of sectioning off those parts of the body like that.
Hearts on fire, feel the light. Miracle futures in our sight. Infinite tiger energy in flight. No limits to the sky. Energy pulsing. Go, go, go. Showtime begins. We're shining bright. Unleash tiger energy. Take us higher. Rise and roll. Lyrical tiger power dance. Ignite
Whoops, sorry. Getting that all out of the focus there. But the reason we're doing it this way, not shoving our iPad around, but the reason, right, is to make those, right, like having this and this disappear, right, having that kind of cut off the edge, having this fall over, right, having this stripes be the same as these stripes. It just adds visual consistency to what we're expecting to see from this tiger and making it look more, not realistic, but intentional in how all these striping patterns are playing over the topography of the body, and it's allowing us to fake a lot of like the cool curves and other stuff that it should have if we were doing a more detailed drawing. And so that's what, you know, that's what I love to use tiger stripes for, is I think that they're really cool tool for that. And it's often underutilized in tattooing, where they'll just like do, you know, flat, I mean, good looking, but just like flat stripes that don't really play with the muscle structure and whatnot of the tiger. And it's just something I like to do. And so that's why you're seeing me spend a little bit more time kind of figure this out, because that's what I'm doing here, is getting that sort of muscular structure down, making sure that, right, we're kind of faking that perspective as we're going around along this tiger and giving it some cool stripy stripes that make sense along its 3D shape. Okay, and I know that's totally not a realistic. It's not like they do that zigzag pattern at all, like, so don't worry about it. But, you know, just having fun here. You know what? I'm just going to have those three. I'm not going to add any more than that. Don't want to give it a monobrow. Pull that back a little bit, exactly. There we go. Again, me just going with kind of faking some muscle structure with these guys, making it look like it's curving along these cool spots. Also, the way that one was like looking like it was going up and down, and then these ones were going left and right, like that kind of freaked me out. I mean, he's got his going different directions than mine. Like here, I can show you, like, see where this is supposed to be the shoulder point. Whoa. Oh, right. This is supposed to be his shoulder point here, and then that's supposed to be his shoulder point there, right? So he is doing the same kinds of things I'm doing actually with these two shoulder points, if you can tell. I just disagree with how he's doing it because, you know, I'm a super snob and I feel like I can be like, I'll do it better. Just because it's just not my style. And so, absolutely, that's what we're seeing there. Right, is he is doing it. He's totally doing it. Do not get me wrong. He's just doing it different than I would do it, so I'm changing it up a little bit. Okay. And yep, and now we're gonna get that paw in there. Go. Right. Okay, so that's that there. Let's go ahead and move on. We'll just get this little sun done really quick. Yoink. Hold. And then hold for the perfect circle. Yeah, that's about right. You know, we're just going to leave that there for now. And then we're going to do some stuff on a completely different layer from it. I need to look up really quick. Hang on. Excuse me while I Google search whether or not the inside of tiger legs have stripes or whether or not they're white. Okay, so it's both. So yeah, they do have striping on the inside and they go white on the inside. Look at that. So yeah, they do have the striping and they have the white. I'm like, I can't remember which it does. It does both, you goob. Okay, that's super funny. Anyway, Okay, so there we go. Tiger strippy stripe. Okay. And now we're on to, let's say, the rocks. Why not? Make them more angular. Gotta remember these are American traditional rocks, not real rocks. I have a problem with that sometimes. We'll just give it. Yep. Keep it stupid simple. Yep, we'll go ahead and call that good for the rocks. Oh, wait, no. Okay, and on to the palm tree. What direction do palm? I'm just gonna coconut tree. Coconut tree. Oh, there is no up or down. It's just scoochy scoochy. It's just messy messy. Got it. So that's why some people go up and some people go down. There is no up or down. Not on a real coconut tree. Yeah. Okay, fine. There we go. Let's get these coconut tree leaf dealy-majiggies in. Okay, now, man, I do not like how tiny them coconuts are. me, I like to put the faces on the coconuts. Because I think it's funny. Gotta put the faces on the coconuts. Right. Let's see here. Gosh, we're already an hour into this tutorial, aren't we? Hopefully I've been able to fast forward a bunch of this stuff where I'm just like drawing leaves and coconuts and stuff. I probably can't fast forward the coconuts. It's too much fun. Y'all want to see me draw coconuts, don't you? Okay. So, we're going to get onto these flowers. Get onto these flowers. Fine. Okay, first, canvas, drawing guide, edit drawing guide, turn drawing assist on, symmetry, done. Plow, 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 plow. So that's the center of the drawing there, huh? That's my balance point. Okay, Q. I'm not going to worry about doing them all super even. I'm going to do them by hand and not freak out. So there's my little circle. He said with drawing assist on, by the way, in case you didn't notice. Good. And I'm just gonna be lazy. Pop that over there. And we're gonna pop this over here. And we're gonna grab all three of these and see how good I did. Okay, the balance isn't too far off. Okay. There we go. That's what we want to see. Nice and balanced, right? And so that's, oh yeah, in case you didn't realize what I was doing there, I was moving this guy to the right, moving this guy to the right, until this middle line decided it was in the middle here on this line, which we've already decided was the middle line of the balance point here. And so that's just kind of a silly little way you can cheat and make sure you're good to go, right? And then check, this guy's just a little bit higher than this guy, right? This guy should be like infinitesimally higher, but we're not going to worry about it. We're going to call it good. Boom, all y'all on the same layer. And then, am I going to drawing assist this? I probably am. Turn drawing assist off now. Clean this up. rocks. Yep, those are the rocks. All right. You get cleaned up a little bit. I should probably clean you up a little bit too, shouldn't I? Drawing assist off. Back down to the rocks. Get you out of there. Yep. Okay, that's all nice and even there. Choo 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 choo. Go ahead and put some sun rays in on this guy. That's on that same layer. Wrong. Oh, there's totally an easier way to do that, guys. There we go. And there we are. I believe that is our outline, folks. Let's get rid of that. Let's take this. We'll bring the opacity way up. Nope. Grab it. Shrink it way down. Bring it up over here. Here. It's too big. Whatever. Make it smaller. Boop. All right. I believe that is our piece. His claw probably shouldn't be in front of that palm tree, let's be honest, but meh, it's American traditional. We're going to let that slide for now because the palm tree's in front of the so technically his claw should be behind the palm tree, just to let you guys know in case you're like being like, bro, what's up with that? Yeah, that's up with that. Okay, right on. It's time to move on to the blacks. All right, and I probably should point out that there's not a whole lot of, blacks to sink in this thing, right? There's some in here. He's got a little bit there, but really it's just the striping on the tiger, right? There's a little bit in these little guys. So we're probably not going to follow this shading scheme as much as we did with the hawk design by Sutherland McDonald. In the first part of this series, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Plugs shamelessly. Yeah. So anyway, we're just gonna take these. Excuse you. We're gonna take these. What did that just do? I don't even know. We're gonna squish it all down onto one layer. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, you allowed? Yeah. Then I'm gonna duplicate it for absolutely no good reason. Just mute one layer. Grab my will be black shading layer, my soft brush under fave brushes. Go check out that tutorial too, by the way, under brushes. Yeah, no, but seriously, reference layer this puppy now. Boom. And we're gonna start making choices, but we're gonna make the easy ones first. And so, let's see, how big is this guy? Yeah, that's about right. Okay. And on to, why not? We'll do these guys now. So you'll notice that, right, this lighter section, this lighter section, this lighter section, right, as they're folding over, right, the other sets of leaves, right, you make sure that you leave little bitty breaks there for either skin breaks or color, so that way you can get that differentiation between the black to the next thing that's over it. Yeah, my hands are super, super sweaty today, and so I am just like making everything. Yeah. Anyway, okay. There was a little bit of shading in these flowers, so let's go ahead and get that done. Yeah. I'm on a different layer, right? Yeah, okay, good. You have those panic moments where you're like, oh God, please tell me I'm not messing this whole thing up in front of everybody. Okay. Yeah, so that's that all shaded, that's this all shaded, and those all shaded. Now, because this is very much just American traditional, I'm not going to do what I would normally do, which would be like take these and like add little bits of like, like highlight in there. We're not doing that. That is what I would normally do if this was my American traditional piece. That's why I get yelled at for not doing real American traditional. Continue filling. Oh, did I miss my opportunity? Continue filling. Boo. I get called out for not doing quote-unquote real American traditional because I do put all kinds of details in there like that. Whoa, man, my finger or my hand there is really getting all sweaty in the way today. Okay, and there's that. Next order of business. Oh, I'll do it. Go ahead and do the do black in that. Get a little bit of that going on here. Boom, boom. Oh, that's way tinier than I thought it would be. What's going on here? Oh, it's because it didn't go over. Got it. Yeah, I saw what I did there. Okay, there we go. Let's see, what color is that nose? Oh, it's just like gray. Yeah. Probably because they didn't want to make it red. And this funky orange wouldn't have worked for the nose because that would have made it look too pink. Okay, I see why. We're gonna go back to this shading layer. Do a little bit more to pay homage, as it were, to the shading style he did with these feet. And we're gonna give it some of this. Right, because he's got that kind of thing going on, but not really, right? But we're going to do sort of a cleaner version of that, right? And give him just a little back paw shadings like that. Leaving that skin break highlight thing all the way around here. Yep. There we go. Just because that's kind of fun and it kind of harkens back to that idea of what he's doing there with that. I will add some shading in this ear here. Just a little bit. And then we're going to stop doing that. Go, add a little bit of that. And now, because he's got like pure white nothingness with just stripes of this orangey red and yellow, and that I feel like is not at all what I want to do. What's going to happen if I do that? Yeah, exactly. And that's because that chin is not going to want to cooperate in there. So I'm going to take this reference layer and do like I do sometimes. We're going to duplicate it. And then we are going to go back to black, go back to our monoline, and we're going to close off all of these. And that is everything. This guy is now solidly closed. Okay, cool. And even though that's not actually what I want my design to look like, that's okay. We're going to get rid of this one. But we're still going to make it the new reference layer, even though it's invisible. That's allowed. And so what that means now is when we go back to do this, where's my hole? I got another hole? Where's my other hole? Oh, it's in the other, it's in his face still. Okay. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Oh, we'll go ahead and close off the face all the way. Oh, no, we won't because that's going to be weird. Yoink. We are going to... because that's going to make our life so much easier, right? So we don't want those lines in there, but we want those borders. So it means we get rid of this. We can't see those lines anymore, but that is still the commanding reference layer. Yes, much better. Yes. Not perfect, right? Because now you can see those little lines are getting in our way there, but better than if we really had to futz with that. Alright, so next order of business is pulling out the white. So here we are, yep, there we are on this layer. And we're going to go ahead. Right, and while that's not like realistic, right, it gives a nice, good break there. Yeah. So we're choosing these things even though they're not reality-based choices. Now we're going to go in for this funky pink. Tongue that same funky pink just to kind of bring it all together. Not sure I like that funky pink, so we're going to go over to hue, saturation, and brightness, and we're going to use this slider. There we are. Like that a little bit better. Okay. Now we move on to what? Teeth, the trees. The trees got green on green, but we're not going to do green on green because we don't need to these days. We're absolutely going to do brown for the trunk of this puppy. Brown for one set of Kirker nuts, but no the other set. We are going to do some yellow coconuts because I'm assuming they're supposed to be unripe coconuts. I could be totally wrong. I don't even know what color unripe coconuts are, so let's just be like upfront about that jazz. And yeah, he doesn't have any, well, he's got little bitty skin breaks there at the very, very edges, doesn't he? So I'm going to go ahead and yeah, and then I'm going to go ahead and come in and, oops, brighten that up just a little bit. And brighten this up just a little bit. There we go. It just makes it look a little bit bushier. Bushy, bushy. I think I'm gonna make this look a little bit orangier though. Yep. I like that a little bit better. Just ever so slightly, like it was just bugging me. I don't know if I'm gonna worry about putting the red stripes in there. Was gonna worry about putting the red stripes in there. I would totally cheat. We would just do something like this. So right now what I've done is I've invert selected the lines, and now I am drawing over the lines by inverting the selection. That's what I was saying. We'll just cheat really quick if I am going to do it. Because, you know, in the stencil, it's not like you're going to want to get rid of those black lines. You're just going to choose what color you're going to do them in real time on the design if you were actually doing this right on a human client. Yeah, there we go, right? We can do that if we want to. Why not? Folks, I think that could be the color. I think that could be it. Yeah, I guess I didn't really sink any black stuff on the tiger itself either, did I? Interesting, interesting. It just didn't seem like the thing to do. How bizarre. I didn't even notice that I didn't do that until literally just now. That's funny. Yeah. Oh, I missed that little bit of gray. Okay, so back to the gray layer. Back to this, and automatically select this little booger. And give it just, there you go. Alright. I mean, I could technically, because I'm still on this layer, and we're like really, you know, always doing more than we should be doing. What you could do to really bring this together and make it just a little bit more finished. You know, let's give it some of that kind of stuff in these rocks, right? Alright, so you could do a little bit of something like that in there. Just makes it a little bit nicer. I'm not gonna lie, that is a little bit better. Okay, and then I'm gonna do what I always do. Go over here, spray paint, fat brush, or fat nozzle. Right, and then from whatever this guy was, we're just gonna start lightening things up. So yeah, that's it, folks. That is our piece. The George Burchett, the Birchmaster himself. There's our original little guy. That's what we came up with. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with a friend if you think they might find it interesting. You know, let me know if I totally ruined it and I'm just like, you know, pooping all over the classics. Whatever works, folks. I'm here for it. But, you know, honestly, we have so much fun together. I love doing these videos. And, oh, I can't believe I forgot to turn the fan off, so that probably just ruined all the audio. Oh, well. Apologize for the second half of the audio with the fan on. It's just too hot. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Thank you so much. See you next time.